In my estimation, I'd say I'm approximately 50 to 60% through my midlife crisis. And what is a midlife crisis? Well, that's going to be different for everybody, but a few years ago, things in my life changed a lot. I'm coming up on 50 next year, or this year, later this year. And at that time, I retired from my first career as a firefighter after an injury. My mom got diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. My marriage kind of started falling apart. And so I moved back home to take care of mom and dad. And my kids also got older, and they both went away to college. So a bit of an empty nest there. And it just seems like a significant amount of change has happened in the last few years. And what happens is when we go through those kind of changes, we can start to question who we are, what our purpose is, what the meaning of life is, as we also have friends that start suffering from age-related illness and challenges, and you kind of wonder, like, what is this life all about? And so if you're at that point in life and you're wondering what life is about and things are changing a lot, it's good to stop and reflect. It's important that we do the inner work necessary to turn inward and reevaluate who we are, what our values are, what our roles are, how we define ourselves, and what our purpose is. My name is Ed Woodstock. I'm a former New York City firefighter and a mindfulness meditation coach. And I help people to deal with stress and find inner peace by understanding their emotions and learning to regulate their nervous system. And I primarily work with meditation and breath work and other ways of helping us to understand ourselves better by not being so distracted. And in life today, there's so many distractions. And if we actually take a break from the distractions and we turn inward a bit, it can help us to really understand ourselves better, and it can help us redefine ourselves in the second part of our lives. You see, in the first part of our lives, we are taught to do things. Be a good boy, sit down and fold your hands and do your homework. I became an altar boy and a Boy Scout and get good grades, and I became a firefighter and served my community here in Brooklyn, New York. Well, I'm upstate now, but I went through all the motions of becoming all the things I thought society wanted me to become so that I could kind of be accepted and belong to that group and feel proud of myself and purposeful. And that's a wonderful thing, to become the things and to be a part of our society and to evaluate who it is we want to become based upon other people, the things that they do. And we have our role models, and hopefully they're our parents or people in our community that guide us and steer us in the wrong direction. But in a lot of ways, what it does is it begs this question of, if we spend most of our lives becoming all the things that we think other people want us to become, well then, who are we really? Are we just an amalgam of all of the expectations that other people, our family, our society, our culture, are we just a combination of all the things that other people expect from us? And if you built your life becoming all those things that other people expect you to become, well then, who are you really? What is your purpose? What is your value as an individual, as opposed to who you are in relationship to the collective, to the group, to the herd mentality? And that's a tricky question, because we live in a world oftentimes where our attention, our energy, our time is dedicated to becoming things for others, whether it's a profession, a career, or whether we just look at what other people do and kind of follow suit. But this life belongs to us. It's as much a collective journey as a human being as it is an individual journey as a soul, as a spirit. And so we have to be mindful if we're spending our lives just going through the motions and continuing to look at what we should be and become through the lens of what other people want, and how much of what we do is based upon what we are as an individual. And this can be challenging because there are no real answers. There is no real answer to what the meaning of life is or what the purpose of life is. It doesn't have an objective purpose or meaning. And in some ways you could say life is meaningless, but it's not meaningless because as individuals, it's our responsibility to create and assign meaning to what it is we are and what we become, how we spend our time and energy. And that's part of why I make these videos, because this technology has come into inception during our existence, and we can look at this as a tool that gives us the opportunity to disseminate and spread information on a vast level to help guide other people through the challenges of life. And if you ask me what life purpose is, well, that kind of sums it up for me. I feel like we're here to take care of each other, to guide each other, to help us understand ourselves in relationship to our life experience, why we're here and what we're doing. And when we build in the sense of purpose in which we can serve other people, it's a wonderful opportunity to see ourselves in each other, almost as if we become mirrors for each other. And that can help us to define who we are in the earlier part of life. But when you get into the midlife crisis area, when things fall apart, when the happily ever after isn't that, or you're no longer a dad, not that you're no longer a dad, I mean, if you have kids, you'll always be a dad. But when your kids are older and you don't need to change their diapers and teach them the basics, when your relationship is no longer the primary connection you have with other people, if you retire, a lot of people that get to a certain age and they come up on retirement, a lot of the times the job that they do kind of defines who they are as an individual. And so if you're not your job, if you're not your marriage, if you're not your family, you're not your career, you're not your family anymore, well, who are you? I don't know the answer to that question. But that's the cool part, because it's up to you to figure that out. That's the beauty of life. That's the game of it. You get to decide what you do with your life. You spent the first part of your life becoming all the things that other people expected you to become. And now you simply get to explore, experiment, adventure, and figure out what it is that you want to experience while you're here. And I'd also like to add that we have to be mindful of the inner and the outer world. Yes, we have our connection to other people, to our jobs and our families and our society, our community. But that's the outer world. And then you have this inner world. What is your relationship to yourself? Do you ever stop to think about who you are and what you want, and what you want to become, what you want to experience in relationship to the outer world? And what you'll quickly realize is that your relationship with yourself is vastly different than the relationship that you have with other people, because other people, they want you to stay who you are because it benefits them for you to stay in the role of being what it is they need you to be. But it may not honor the truth of who you are. See, the truth of who you are is a divine gift. Yes, I know it sounds silly, the precious little snowflake, but it's true. You are divine. We all are individuals. And I would imagine the Creator, yes, there are times when we need to work together and think together to collaborate, to advance our species, but it also requires us to be innovative, to be unique, to think for ourselves, to drive progress. And so the call is, maybe in midlife, is to really figure out what you want to bring into this world of yourself. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? And when I mean legacy, I don't mean like money or like a building in your name. I mean energetically. How do you want to love? How do you want to interact with other people? How do you want to connect with nature and other people and other living things while you're alive? And this gift of life, being put in this flesh suit, is really a gift. And so how are you going to take this gift and make the most of it? Well, that's not up to anybody else but you. That's your right to do what you want with your one and precious life. So what are you going to do with it? Especially when you start to see your parents die and friends your age suffer from illnesses. And I have a friend that has a terminal illness right now. And to know that the clock is ticking and the sands are dropping through the hourglass, what is it you want to do with this one precious life that you have? Well, don't let anybody else answer that question for you. And if you're struggling with that and you want to figure out what to do, well, I'd encourage you to look outside at what other people do, but more importantly, look inside. Sit with yourself. Go out and connect with nature. Breathe deeply. Fill your belly. Feel connected. Stay present. Oh my, see what happened when I said that? You tell me. You tell me what just happened. I know I seem crazy sometimes. That's nothing new. And not crazy. Well, I am. It doesn't make a difference. What's crazy? To be normal in this world is not really something to aspire toward. But when we become present, when we connect with ourselves, when we connect with nature, we can feel this inner guidance that has been given to us by the Creator. This inner guidance that can help us to understand ourselves better, to give us the confidence and faith. And we were created by the Creator. So we were imbued with this quality to have this faith and confidence in ourselves to become what we need to become in order to fulfill our purpose. And I would just caution you to consider not looking too much outside. You've looked outside most of your life. Now that you've gotten to this point, start turning inward. Breathe deeply. Connect with your environment. Stay present. Notice your thoughts. Notice when you're getting distracted and pulled away. And take that precious attention and energy and go inward and cultivate that relationship with yourself. And I just want to remind you that that relationship with yourself is important. So if nobody ever taught you how to practice self-care, if no one ever taught you how to take care of yourself, and most of your life has been defined by benefiting those who would rather see you stay the same, just know that you can change and become whatever it is you want if you tune into that inner world. Because the truth is, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to come in and force you to make healthy changes and cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself. That'll be up to you. So if you want to explore this inner world, if you want to keep your mind and body physically, emotionally, spiritually strong and healthy, it's going to be up to you to do the work, to turn inward and cultivate that relationship with yourself. Anyway, that's enough for today. Thanks for joining me for a walk in the woods and connecting a little bit with nature. And just know that whatever you're going through, you're not alone. We're all going through it. There's a lot of us going through it. And we should stick together, because as men, it's our job to define kind of who we are. It's not up to anybody else. It's not up to society to define and dictate to us who we are and what we are. That's our job, to define what we are. You get to define who you are. You get to define what we are. And we get to create our lives. So take care of yourself and show up for yourself and do the work necessary to really discover a deeper sense of meaning and purpose. And then share that with the other people in your life. Help guide other people who are struggling. Because the truth is, as far as life purpose is concerned, that really is our purpose, is to take care of each other. So take care of yourself and then share that with other people. And if you want to learn more, you can visit my website at edwoodstock.com, or you can book a one-on-one in the link below, and drop a comment. If you're going through a midlife crisis and you have some insights to share about what it means to discover who you are, drop it in the comments and share it with the rest of the crew here. And let's stay connected and remind each other that we're not alone.